We are being asked to weather a storm of which the duration cannot even be guessed, let alone guaranteed in any way. Months is the closest we're getting to a timeline. We are being asked to seek shelter, with looming threat of that shelter being taken away. We are being asked to prepare to bail out our boats, with our buckets replaced with Dixie cups. And we are being told to remain calm, as those we've elected to protect us refuse to take enough action to provide anything remotely close to calm. This is now the second message that I'm sending out in regards to the effects of COVID-19 on small businesses and families all across this country. Today I'm addressing the leaders in every position of power, from the local to provincial, from the Prime Minister himself to the leaders of each opposition party. I'm also now going to add in any and all media representatives who this message reaches, and specifically the leaders in this industry. I've tried to remain calm in all of this. I've tried to commend any step forward that has been taken, but I cannot remain calm any longer. I am furious and I am terrified. If total and complete measures will not be taken, notice that I said will not instead of cannot, then the message is clear from those in power. There are people that do not matter to these administrations across this nation. My wife, myself, and our two young girls have fought battles only few can imagine to bring a dream to life. Our small business has seen ups and downs over the last 3 years, and we have the bruises and the bronzes to back up all that we've invested in this. We've brought joy and play and celebrations to the town of Midland, the likes of which has never been seen before. And now, after 3 years, our government, at essentially every level, has told us, in no uncertain terms, we do not matter. As it stands now, per my understanding, the only support currently available to people anywhere near our situation requires one to have made a minimum of $5,000 in a year. Personally, not as a business. Any very small business owner at what can accurately be described as the toddler stage of a business can tell you that as far as the books are concerned, you, the owners, will not have made any money from that business. Everything the business makes goes right back into it. We know of another local entrepreneur who literally lives above their place of business. Their home is intrinsically tied to that business's well-being. This is not an uncommon story. It is not even as bad as this could get. For the moment, we are fortunate that I kept my day job, but considering the state of the awards industry right now, that too is in extreme jeopardy. What will be done to protect us? I'm not referring to just my family here. There are millions of Canadians in our exact position or worse. To keep our business operational between now and when we can open again, it will cost tens of thousands of dollars. For our business personally, we have lost our 3 biggest months of the year. February, March, and April make enough money to carry us through the summer, a vital thing to consider for an indoor business in a town full of beaches. Here I would like to discuss Mr. Trudeau's continual insistence on and references to loans. Loans will not help us. Loans never help anyone in a desperate situation. Yes, this entire scenario is the definition of desperate. As my business racks up thousands upon thousands of dollars of debt on top of the loan we are rightfully in the position of still paying now, if we would even qualify for a loan of any kind, in what way would that help us? The most generous loan with any amount of money that could actually salvage our situation could never realistically be paid back. If you've developed a plan and lack the resources to execute it, a loan can be a wonderful thing. This is not where any of us are now. I'm going to warn you now, this next part is not going to be nice, but it's going to be true. I get it, Mr. Prime Minister. Between the billion-dollar banks and their corporate cousins, the oil executives and the media moguls, not to mention the constant need for appearances to our allies south of the border, I get it. You feel like you're in a no-win scenario here. Heck, even the political parties who represent your opposition are telling you that any step at all to help the majority of us will look bad on you. Or perhaps they're even actively holding it against you. I get that pressure you. I promise you though, from the very core of my being, that pressure is nothing compared to what millions of us are facing today. You will come out of this just fine. The banks and the billionaires and the millionaires will come out of this just fine. Most of the political leaders will come out of this better than just about any of us. We will not. If action is not taken here, now, immediately, the millions of businesses lost will be the smallest price paid here. It will not be paid by you. I want to be clear on this part. As difficult as it is to acknowledge, if my business cannot survive this event, it is not my place in it that concerns me most. People will lose their homes. People will lose access to vital health care. People will die. There will be deaths from this pandemic by those the virus has never touched. As our leader, as all of our leaders, that responsibility lies with you and you all alone. We need the following announced immediately, with no exceptions or caveats. These actions must run as long as necessary. 4 months is sickeningly short considering the damage caused already. Direct payments must be made to any and all Canadians. If a means test is needed, then it should be based on the high end, not the low end. Even then, making sure every single Canadian can afford to keep their home, no matter the size of that home, that we can all eat, stay warm, and stay in contact with each other is vital to get this country back on track. All mortgages must be stopped. Barring that, arrangements should be made with the mortgage holders, not the homeowners. If business leases cannot be protected on the leasee level, then protect the leaseholders solely on the condition that they must work with those leasing from them. And any and all loans at every level must be stopped immediately. Again, if those in debt cannot be protected, then work with or even outright block the lenders from pursuing action. Pharma, dental, and optical must also be added to the national health care. This should have been done already. As people's insurance disappears, this will be more vital than ever before. We must, as a nation, stop trying to return to the way things were before this calamity. I say this as a very proud citizen. The way things were before was not good. The way everything has fallen apart so quickly is proof enough that the way things were done before cannot be allowed to continue. We thought we lived in a bowl. We have been shown what many have already known, that we actually live in a colander. Many are seeing the holes for the very first time. I'm borrowing this from the internet, but it's a fitting summary of everything I've said before. Step 1, devise and enact measures to ensure no one loses their homes or access to food, water, healthcare, education, or other necessary utilities during the pandemic. Step 2, leave those measures in place indefinitely once the pandemic is over. If we can't even strive to this goal, and no, we have not been up to this point, not even a little, then the next time something like this happens, and there will be a next time, we are in far more trouble than we are now. In a country of 35 million people with 45 billionaires and $30 billion companies, we've not even been looking in the direction of this goal. If we are not, then please tell us all, who is expendable? Are we? Someone else? That is the only other answer. No one blames the government for the virus. No one truly considering the ramifications think the decisions made and the financial implications of those decisions were done to harm anyone. Quite the opposite. I support every closure and delay that this is required. At the end of the day, though, these decisions are having severe consequences for real people. To continue down the path we're on now with no guarantees that millions of us will be able to live at all when the dust settles is grossly negligent. You're mixing messages every day. You're telling us to stay home and forcing our businesses to close, and then you offer less than anyone could possibly need to survive such action. This does nothing but breed more panic. In the end, I will end this on one more analogy because they're fun. While we may not elect our parents, in this hierarchy of authority and responsibility, you, our representatives, are like our parents. More accurately, our guardians. We are your children. No guardian would leave their kids in the unprecedented situation unfolding before us. We would do everything within our power to protect them. Our houses and our health are being literally and directly threatened, and you continue to tell many of us that you will only extinguish some of the flames. Many more of us you're ignoring entirely. Please do what has to be done for all of our families. Thank you.